Welcome to the city of Montgomery. I'm Chief Napolitano. I'm the Chief of Police here, and I'm one lucky guy to be able to be the Chief of Police in this great city. And we're growing, so for all of you that have lived around here for a long time, welcome. I see a lot of familiar faces, and some I hopefully will get to know by the end of tonight. Real quick, I'm going to introduce two folks that you guys need to know. Terry Holcomb. Terry, where you at? Just get up and say hi. Terry's with, what's that group?
Texas Carry.
Texas Carry. Just want to make sure I said that right. And Joseph Walker. Yeah, hey Joseph, nice to have you here. He's with Open Carry Texas. So if you have other questions after, you can talk to these guys. They probably might have some information for y'all to get it out. I'm also going to introduce Officer Trent Lozano. Not only does Trent work here with me at the police department, he also works for Texas Law Shield. And he teaches this class all over the state of Texas, to law enforcement and to citizens alike. So we've actually had Texas Law Shield come out and give us a 4-hour seminar on how we're going to handle this as a law enforcement agency. So all my officers have had a 4-hour seminar on this.
Just going to do a quick overview and kind of make sure that everybody is on the same page. We'll tell you what we know, and hopefully we can begin that smooth transition process now. So, openly carrying of a handgun will become legal on January 1st for persons having a handgun license issued by the state of Texas or by another state that Texas recognizes their license, another state that there is reciprocity with. All right, those are who will be allowed to openly carry inside the state. Long guns continue to be lawfully open carry. Nothing changed for long guns. This is strictly for handguns. So that's the one thing that we have a lot of questions about is, can I carry my long gun or can I carry this gun? Has nothing to do with long guns. There's been no change for that. This is only whether or not the handgun can be concealed or open or both. And the chief talked about it a little bit earlier too, based on the change in what the function of a license is, they've also changed the name of it. It is no longer going to be the concealed handgun license. It will now be the license to carry or license to carry handgun. We've seen those. They are already issuing those. If you do not have the one that says license to carry, that's okay. Come January 1st, you are basically grandfathered in with your concealed handgun license. The point is, you don't have to go through a whole other process if you already have a license, if you already have the concealed handgun license. Now, when you go to renew, they will send you the new one though. 4602, a lot of times people ask about this. What is an unlawful carry? How does that come into play? Texas Penal Code 4602 is the unlawful carry of a weapon statute. Now, the important thing to remember about this is, in Texas, the default status is carrying a handgun on or about your person is an offense in the state of Texas. The only way you can do it is by exception that is written into this statute. So one of the exceptions is a peace officer. Another one is if you are a licensed private security that is on duty at that time. Another one is if you are a license to carry holder. Okay? So those are the only ways that you can do it. Not everybody that just walks across the border is going to be able to strap on a pistol. We do not have constitutional carry pass. We still have license carry, so this is kind of the default setting in Texas at the moment. Again, the only way that you're legally going to carry a handgun on or about your person is if you qualify for the exception to that statute. Now, in order to actively be able to achieve open carry, here's what you need. You got to have 3 basic requirements. Number 1, you have to be able to look at the calendar and see that it's after January 1st. Okay? Number 2, it has to be in a belt or shoulder holster in order for it to be legal open carry. Conceal carry, if you're going to conceal carry, you can still carry it any method that you choose. But for open carry, it has to be in a belt or shoulder holster. And then you also have to have your valid license with you on your person if you're carrying openly. That's one of the other things. So those 3 are the main things that you want to have, and that will keep you nice and safe in those instances. If you are openly carrying in an ankle holster, that's not going to cut it. Okay? That's not going to work. You have to have it in a belt or shoulder holster. Now, a lot of times everyone's asking about the signage. Okay? The 30-06 sign is changing a little bit. There's a little bit of wording in it that's going to change. All right, so we need to make sure that we pay attention to that. 30-06 will specifically refer to the concealed carry, whether or not someone can enter a property. If there's a 30-06 sign up, then you cannot conceal carry on that property. There will be a new sign now for open carry, that is the 30.07. So 30.06 governs concealed carry, 30.07 governs open carry. If a business or an establishment or a property owner does not want you to carry at all, they have to post both signs. 30.06 is concealed, 30.07 is open. If there is only one sign posted, then you can legally do the other unless you're notified by someone of apparent authority in the business not to. Again, 30.07 is going to cover open carry. That's really the biggest change in the signage. The 51% sign still applies. The 30.06 sign will still apply. Again, there's a little bit of a wording change in that, so make sure you're careful about what it is that you're doing whenever you're approaching those signage or anything. This is an example of what the 30.06 sign, I'm sorry, the 30.07, excuse me. This is an example of what the 30.07 will probably look like. It has to be in both English and Spanish. It has to meet the same qualifications as the 30.06 sign, with a little bit different designation about where it's placed. The 30.07 for open carry is required to be at every entrance. The 30.06 does not have that requirement. It still has to be in a conspicuous manner. Typically where you will see that is usually at the main doors. You'll see that a lot of times there. So just be wary of what entrances you're going in and make sure that you're doing your best to comply with the law. Again, the legally enforceable signs, if you are a license holder, the 30.06 covers concealed carry, 30.07 is open carry. Both signs are prohibiting, 30.06 and 30.07 is a possibility as well. Some people will have both signs posted. Currently there is no provision in the law for a joint sign, so they do have to have the two separate signs. And then of course the 51% sign will still apply as well. Some of the frequently asked questions that we get: can a law enforcement officer approach someone who's open carrying a handgun and ask them to see their license to carry? Yes, they can. Can a law enforcement officer disarm a license to carry holder? Yes, if they feel it is appropriate. There's two words that govern law enforcement: may and shall. The statute says that you may disarm a CHL holder or a license to carry holder if we feel it's necessary for officer safety reasons, but we shall return the firearm to them once they've been deemed no longer a threat, or there is no longer a threat valid at that point. Okay? So, will they do it? It depends on the officer. It depends on the situation. They have the discretion to, but it's not mandatory. So what is mandatory is returning the firearm to them once they've been deemed no longer an issue. So that's pretty much what you can expect.
From the administrator standpoint, and what you guys need to think about is this: don't get in a fight on the street with them. If that officer takes your gun, go, okay, and then call the chief. Okay? Please don't make it a fight on the street for this weapon, because I hate to tell you, most of the time the citizen loses. And then it turns into something really bad. And I don't want it to turn into something bad. If I have to correct an officer because they improperly did something, I would rather have to do it with a phone call from you to me to bring that officer in and go, do you want to explain that to me? And then we can sit down and discuss it. But for you guys down the street to start to have an argument with an officer is a very bad thing.
To clarify, when the officer makes the approach, they're not actually asking for your identification. They're asking for your license to carry. Another one of the questions that we usually get a lot of is, what do I do if I see someone openly carrying a handgun? This may not be the right crowd for this question. A whole lot of nothing, usually, right?
Depends on what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what they're doing, how you are interpreting that. Are you interpreting that there's an active threat going on, or that there's some sort of suspect activity, or is the guy just in the grocery store buying milk? Do I have to have a retention holster to carry openly? That was proposed, but it did not pass, so you are not required to carry it in a retention holster. It would be a good idea, and it's recommended, but it's not required. Also, can I use a tactical drop leg holster for open carry? Do you guys know what we're talking about? Those holsters that kind of sit down here? Okay. Yeah, those, depending on the jurisdiction that you're in, because we've got people from all over the state here, typically, most of the DA's offices that I have talked to, or that I've got information from around the state, most of them say as long as it attaches to the belt that it is a belt holster. Some of them are not though. Some of them, so it's a little bit more risky doing it that way, but it depends on the jurisdiction that you're in. So you need to get with your DA's office and find out what they say about it in your area. And then lastly, can I use my AR pistol for open carry? Can I put my AR pistol on and open carrying it? Well, if it is in a belt or shoulder holster, good luck finding one of those, but you know, it's possible, I guess. The point is, if it is a pistol, if it is a handgun, it does qualify for open carry, all right? But the whole point of this is, let's please be responsible and let's try to work together. Just because we can do something does not necessarily make it a good idea, so let's try to make sure that we all work together and keep everybody on the same page where everybody's safe.
I'm going to ask Mr. Lozano to explain to you guys, if you did violate 30-06 sign or 30-07 as a license holder, explain to you then what happened.
Okay. The 30-06 and 30-07, obviously with the 30-06, that's been that's been the case for a long time now. Up until January 1st, that will still be a Class A misdemeanor to violate the sign. After January 1st, it is now a Class C misdemeanor. Okay? Same thing for violating the 30-07 sign. And that is a Class C misdemeanor. It is punishable by a fine of up to $200. Okay? It is the same level as a speeding ticket. It is. It's speeding, failed signal lane change, you know, violating the 30-06, 30-07 signage. There's the same level of offense.
So how would the open carry just work in a vehicle?
Open carry can apply in a vehicle, but it has the same rules. Okay? It has to be in a belt or shoulder holster.